All right. Well, we are live currently, but for some reason. Okay. Intro was a little weird there. Welcome everybody. Welcome Cindy and Angelique. How you guys doing?
Hi. We're doing great.
Well, thank y'all for coming on to the show. So,
Thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah.
so what? One of my big questions is what started the group? What brought y'all together?
Well, I have been researching for a really long time in the South. And then I moved up north in 2004. And I live on I live in an area and on property where there's stuff going on like all the time in the vicinity. And I met Angelique like, I don't know, 9 years ago or 10 years ago. And she lived here in the same area. So, it was just time to get more into it. And we had experienced a lot of the same things. So, and I've known her for a long time. So it was a dream of mine for a long time to concentrate on a team when the time was right. And that was, I'm playing with my dog, sorry. So it was natural for her to come on because we experienced the same things and we're working on the same things. And it was, more of I miss that group thing because I've been solo for so long.
Okay. And your group is Sasquatch Sisters Northwest. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was the Sasquatch Sisters or just Sasquatch Sisters Northwest.
SSNW. SSNW.
Okay. I gotcha. So let's get into some encounters y'all have encountered together.
I'm gonna let you go because I'm losing my voice.
Oh, no. I hope you're feeling okay.
I'm fine. It's just this wild weekend, with all of y'all. I just can't keep up with these young ladies, man.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess for me, it started about 20 years ago, and I had a up-close encounter at Sullivan Lake while I was kayaking. And it lasted up close and personal, probably, I don't know, maybe just maybe a couple of minutes or so, but I had a visual on him for most of several hours at least. And I didn't realize that I was looking at a Sasquatch. I thought I was looking at a man, and I thought he was a very hairy man and a very big man. And a nudist. So, um,
Yes.
yeah. So I was more intrigued with what I thought was a skin disease. Did we lose Josh?
Oh
I
shoot!
don't know.
Did we?
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Are you kidding me?
Can you still hear me, Cindy?
I can't see him. Are you there, Josh?
Uh-oh,
Well,
he said he was having issues, so
I
uh-oh.
guess keep talking.
Can you still hear me, Cindy?
I can, so you might as well keep talking. We'll just,
Okay.
we'll just, we'll hijack his show.
We'll just have his show without him.
We're just gonna hijack y'all.
Oh, goodness. Where'd I leave off?
Uh,
Um,
uh, the skin disease.
oh yeah, so I just thought that I had come across a nudist with a major skin disease, and I was more intrigued with that than anything else. And I ended up getting on a website that was in the, of course, in the early 2000s, uh, internet was just becoming big, and I was in college, so I had a home computer, and I decided to research the skin disease because I kept thinking about the wolf boy from the Barnum and Bailey circus, and thinking, wow, I didn't know there was anybody in our area that had that. And so this man was huge. I mean, at least probably close to 8 feet tall. So I was thinking he had some kind of a disease. And I got on this forum that it was a chat channel, and you could type in what it was that you saw, and there would be a group chat of people that could help you figure out what it was. And so I got on it thinking that somebody was going to tell me what the skin disease was. And I closed the computer down and gave up, forgot about it. And then I got a phone call from the US government, which back in that time they had those little boxes that you kept by your landline, and it was a caller ID. It can tell you who it was that was calling. And so I got on, and it said that it was US government. And well, I have a brother that is in the US government, and he was at the time. And so I thought, well, maybe something had happened to him. So I answered the phone, and the gentleman that was calling me, um, and I do not remember, cannot remember what department he worked for or what his name was. It's been so many years, but he said that he wanted to talk to me about the Sasquatch that I saw at Sullivan Lake. And I was caught off guard and just said, I didn't see a Sasquatch. I saw a guy with a skin disease. I didn't see a Sasquatch, because I was thinking that if I saw a Sasquatch, it was going to look like the Patterson Gimlin film. And this
Mhm.
one didn't look like it. He looked like a human being, uh,
Wow.
a perfectly proportionate human being, only extremely tall and extremely hairy. And I was close enough to him that I could literally see his eye color. I was probably within 8 feet of him. And he just looked like a normal guy, aside from excessive hair. And so when this guy called me from the US government, uh, my first, impression was just, no, I didn't see a guy. I didn't see a Sasquatch. This guy didn't look anything like a Sasquatch. He looked like a human. And then the guy kind of laughed. It was almost like he was kind of going, "Oh, come on, get
Like,
real with me."
sure.
Yeah, like, you sure you didn't, and then he said, "Come on," or he didn't say "come on," but he kind of had that tone where he said, "I want to talk to you about the Sasquatch that you saw." And I was like, and I
Click.
don't know why. Yeah, click. I don't know why, but I had an immediate, almost a panic attack, and I just said, "I didn't see a Sasquatch," and I hung up on him, which was rude, but I don't know why, but I felt like, don't tell him anything. Don't don't say anything. And I hung up, and then he called back later, and I saw the US government thing, and I just didn't pick up. Well, my son, I had a teenage son at the time, and he was just the BFRO was just getting big across the internet, and he was telling me, he said, Mom, there's this site that the guys at school are talking about, and it's a site that you can get on that will, if you share your information with them, they can tell you more about what you saw, and you should check into it. And so I did, and I got a phone call from uh, one of their researchers, and he interviewed me for probably 3 hours, just wanting me to tell the story over and over and over. And I didn't go into detail with you today, but it was a very long encounter, so there was quite a bit of detail. And by the time I was done, I asked him, I said, "Well, why do you keep asking me?" And he was vetting my story to see if I was going to change it in any way. And at the end of our conversation, he told me, "Yes, I did see a Sasquatch." And so from that moment on, it my mind was blown, because I expected all of the forest people to look like the Patterson Gimlin film, and I didn't realize how individual they are and how much they can vary in degree of looking like Patty to looking more like the big hairy man that I saw. They're individuals just like we are, and I didn't realize that until after that sighting. I don't know why, but after that sighting, I started having more and more encounters, and I expected, I guess, them all to be like the one that I had seen. And then, like I said, they vary. They absolutely vary and are individuals just like us. And it was it was an eye-opening experience for me, because I had grown up thinking that it was just a hoax, and maybe legends and things that the elders told the kids to keep them from leaving, going out in away from camp. And so it it changed my life. It really did. And after years of just quietly watching and keeping my mouth shut and not talking to too many people, even when I would have an encounter, because it wasn't long after that when I started having encounters more and more, that I didn't tell anybody. And I still have family members and people that are close to me that don't know that I've had these encounters. And most of the time I don't tell, because it's still the same old thing where people want to ridicule you and say you're just being dramatic, and they just really shame you for the things that you see that you didn't ask for. I didn't go out every time that this happened. I did not have the thought in mind that I'm going to look for something. It was always something that happened when you least expect it. And after that, I finally just said, "You know what? Let's just go with it. I'm going to start researching. I'm going to start documenting. I'm going to start photographing some evidence. And my kids have all had encounters and they've all seen them. They've all seen the evidence. Sometimes they've been with me at the times that we've had these encounters. And so it's just become kind of a part of our lives. And so when Cindy asked me if I wanted to be a joiner and start a team, I said, yeah, definitely, let's do this. Because I think, why not just go with it? Why not tap into a resource to be able to gain knowledge? Because I don't know about y'all, but I know that I feel cheated that I didn't know these things, these people. I don't want to say things, that these people existed. I feel cheated that I didn't know. So that's what happened with me.
So with me, I saw the Patty Gimlin film like when I was little, and I mean, I grew up in South Texas, along the Gulf of Mexico. So it's not like there's woods there, but I think that I was meant to have this whole journey, just like okay, I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm sitting outside because my dog's acting up. Angel, that little brat. Angel? Yeah, Angel. It's Angel, Angelique. Oh, Angel, Angelique. So, um, so I moved to East Texas, and like in 1999, I just, when the internet was like coming around more, 97, something like that, I typed in the internet and like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and I was like, holy cow, all the information I found, like at that time I was in East Texas, and I thought, there is Sasquatch in East Texas, and I didn't live far from the big thicket. So I hooked up with different people, and I ended up researching with a great group of people. Um, like in 1999 with like the Bigfoot Outlaws, and I'm sure y'all have heard of like Bear and Kumbo. A bunch of neat people that grew up with these beings on their ranches, with their grandfathers, like before Patty was even filmed. And they, in the South, they call them boogers. Some people do. And I had many close encounters in East Texas and in Southeast Oklahoma, Honobia. I mean, I could write a book just on those two areas. And I've also been chased out on horseback and stuff in East Texas. And then I was going to be done researching because I had a bad encounter, which I'll tell you about later. But I was going to be done. And then we had to move at the military, of all places, the Pacific Northwest. And I told my husband, no home in the woods. So he bought a home in the woods. And I have lived here since 2004. And I mean, I went from flesh and blood to coming onto this property and experiencing a lot of paranormal stuff. I mean, I could talk for like 3 hours straight on things that are, and Angelique knows, she's been here. Just things that have happened here, and it changed my way of thinking about what we're dealing with here. I also learned along the way that there's different types with different personalities. There's other cryptids out there, and you know what? It's all involved. Like, I would put out my audio recorder and I would get like chanting, because where we live here, this is big time lore of, I mean, the mountain is called Hoodoo Mountain. But that doesn't mean anything if, like, if you go up in the mountains and try to do some looking around, it's not like they just come up to you. Here, they know me, they know Angelique, they know the whole team. So when we're coming into the woods, they already know that we're there. I mean, that's just my opinion. And I changed my way of thinking through my whole journey on this property. And yeah, well, I could probably get into some stuff like later and tell you some stories, but I've got some great audios, and we've had some crazy encounters here with involving my dogs and my horses, myself, my kid, just hearing things, and it's been a journey, that's for sure.
Wow. Okay. So quite a few encounters, quite a few things happening out there. Y'all can't hear me, okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I had to reset my audio. Okay. Um. So, out of all the encounters, which one has stuck out to you the most, Cindy?
Probably. Well, the one up here was. I mean, there was way too many, but I'll just give you. There isn't like one. There's like 6 extreme ones, but I'll give you an example of one. 2017, we got a new dog, and I had 2 other dogs at that time, and we got a lab. I couldn't think a lab, and that next March or April, when it was spring break here, I put out my audio recorder one night, and we have an RV. Well, like this RV was in the driveway, and the kids were hanging out in the RV for spring break. And my husband was out of town, which doesn't necessarily mean anything because I still get a lot of stuff with him here or without him here. But on this one particular night, he had some friends over, my younger son, and I was watching TV, and it was just a regular night. The only thing that was different was I think there was a full moon, because that was like I think the whole reason why I wanted to record that night and the nights before that and after that. So I stuck my audio out and I went to bed. And the next day I woke up and I got my audio off the front porch, and I started listening to it. And within 10 minutes, I got a crazy, crazy audio. I don't know if I sent it to you, if you can play it, but my dog was barking outside at the corner of the fenced in property. And uh, then after that, you hear like this ungodly roar. Just a lot of people have heard that audio, and when I heard that, I was like, "Oh heck no!" That actually made me really mad, and it was it was March, so it's still cold here. So I walked out to my road, which it's like a dirt road, like a logging road, and I walked to where he was barking in the corner, and the fence looked like it had been pulled back. I was like, why would somebody pull the fence back when all they have to do is just get down and get him? Now, Gunner was 7 months old at that time. So and he's an English lab mix. So he was still a big boy at that time. And he would not go into the woods. I was like, I noticed that right away. And I was like, no, this is not okay. And so I think after that, a friend of mine came over and she kind of like cleansed the property, and she was, telling me how to do it, what to say, and like how to set boundaries on my property. And that was about the time that I started learning a lot more about like what's involved with the paranormal and the cryptids, how are they connected. But the only thing I know is that was something passing through. It wasn't, I don't think it was of the normal clan that's here in the area, because my dogs were growling the couple of days after that. And so to this day, my dog will not go into the woods unless he's playing and he's chasing the other dog, and he'll go in the woods and then he'll like notice and then backtrack. So that was probably one of the scarier, because I've never heard a growl like that. And the fact that I got that on an audio is crazy. I've heard like what I call T-Rex sounds in East Texas and up here, but from further away. But this was so close. And the 2 nights prior, the kids were, on their four-wheelers, and because out here I'm in the sticks, so excuse me, so I cleaned up their property, and some of the kids were saying that they heard like heavy breathing. It sounded like a dragon. I was like a dragon. So across the street from me, it was like, it's not empty now, but it was empty at the time, and it's been empty since I've lived here. So I've had all those years where I've gotten stuff across the road, and the owners, you know, are friends of ours, and so I would go over there and I would walk all the 10 acres. And so I've seen things in there, and there's like a little valley that goes down like that. And I've seen a bunch of footprints back there, and where something heavy has been laying down. Of course, it could have been an elk or a moose, who knows? But that was probably one of the scariest things. And then another time was when my home was slapped, and I was going to sell it, but I didn't. So I'm still here.
What made you decide not to sell it?
Well, um, so that's actually a crazy story. I wasn't even home. I got home like at 11. I worked Monday and Friday nights, pretty much the same schedule. So for some reason, whatever that was that slapped my house did it, and I wasn't even here. I did get home 30 minutes later though, and then it went to my neighbor's house, and he sent me a text, which I didn't read till the following morning. And I didn't know something slapped my house. Um, I didn't find out till the next morning because my husband said, "Hey, something slapped the house," and he's not into this topic. He could care less. He doesn't care if there's 5 million Bigfoot going through the back of the property. He he's just like, just leave them alone. Who cares? I'm like, it doesn't work that way. So he just doesn't care. He just, but something did of significance hit the house, and he did go check it out, and the dogs were fine. So I don't know. He didn't see anything. And then I got home half an hour later, and then it went to my neighbor's house, and it was all of his animals were hissing. He's got, I don't know how many cats. So I didn't find this out till Tuesday, the following morning. And he said that my neighbor said that the time he gave me was like after 12:30. So whatever was here is probably the same thing that went to his house. And it was just walking around, and I don't know what time it was, like at 12:30. He said that he was standing in his bedroom window, and he looked out the window, and he saw something standing on its two legs, and it was sniffing the air. I've never seen a Bigfoot sniff the air, but I know a dogman would. So I'm not really sure what happened or what was here, but that was pretty much it. When he described it to me, I was like, that's crazy. And it actually came back the weekend of Memorial Weekend of 2017. So this was May. That's actually what started me recording and trying to get as much on audio as I could. I have game cameras, but I would never put those out for them. And I promised them I would never do that either, because we're not going to get anything. I mean, I would have to be extremely lucky. Plus, I wanted to connect with them, and I was trying to figure out like what's what. Like, is there a regular client around here? Is that like an extra one, just a loner? I have no idea. But yeah, that was enough for me to. I called my friend who's a realtor, and I just said, "Hey, how much can I get for my home?" And he's like, he knows me, and he was asking me why, and I told him what happened, and he was kind of laughing a little bit. I was like, this is serious." So I called my other friend in Mississippi, and he called me back that evening, and he told me, he just talked to me, and he said, "You've been living there this long. They're just trying to get your attention." I was like, "How do you know?" And he's like, well, sis, you know, I don't know what else to tell you. Uh, and then my husband said that if we had to sell the house, because he heard me talking to the real estate agent, he said, if we have to sell the house, then that's going to be it. You're not going to be, you're not going to go out researching anymore. And, you know, I didn't want to be chased off my property. So I just relaxed and I kind of just didn't do nothing. And every day I got up and I watched the woods and, you know, paranormal things were happening. I heard my name called a couple of times and there was nobody there. And then I heard we had a horse trailer and I came outside one day and it was shaking uncontrollably. I thought maybe a deer got in there, but there was nothing in there. So I just didn't do nothing. And that was when I got a grip on really exploring and opening up my mind. That's what made me open up my mind to there is more to this than what you're believing in, because you're not getting anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels, and I can't unsee what I've seen, and I've seen things that are half there, half cloaked, half you know, I mean, I was not a believer in any of that. So that's what started me, was that incident right there, was starting to explore like everything, not just the Sasquatch, you know.
So, how old is the house that you're in?
2004.
So it's not that old. Is there anything special about the property?
I don't know, Angelique. How could you? How I don't know how to answer that. How would you answer
Like,
that,
like, are there any Native
Angelique?
American burial grounds nearby or
Yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Off to that back corner there is, isn't there? Isn't that what you guys found out?
So, without digging it up, I was told one of many burial sites here in this whole North Idaho area, especially in this area here. I was told that on one area of my property that it could be a burial ground, but do I have any proof? No. Am I going to bury it up? Hell no.
Yeah.
No. Good. You telling me that's, I mean, but here's another thing. As long as I have lived here, my home is over there. So if I'm looking at my window, it's to those woods over there on the left side of my property. But right now I'm in my RV, so I'm on the further right side of my property. But anytime I have gone back there where we have found some things, I have gotten sick, or I felt, excuse me, like lost. And Angelique got sick there just a couple of days ago, and a couple of weeks ago, somebody else got sick. We had some people here, some friends cleaning the property. And so Tanya Marie is in the group now because she brings what we don't understand and she balances it out. And the other member, Deanna, they were all here. And we were walking back there, and well, heck, I'll let Angelique tell y'all.
Oh, well, we were headed to the back area where Cindy and Deanna, no, actually, it was Cindy and Tanya and her friend were facing the week before, and we had had a visual of three of them that were tree peeking, doing the peeking around the trees and stuff at us. So we knew that they were in that area. And we decided as a group that we were going to go ahead and walk back there. And there's almost like a threshold in the woods behind Cindy's house that as soon as you cross over, it's almost like an area that you get a definite feeling that you're not really supposed to be there. And we decided, well, we were just going to push through and we were just going to go and look for the tracks around the areas and stuff where we had seen them the week before. And I stepped foot over there. I was feeling fine. Life was going good. Well, everything was in just a feeling of being, a group setting, and nobody's really paying any attention to much of anything about how they feel. And I stepped over that one spot in the woods, and I immediately was completely overtaken with nausea and ended up vomiting behind a tree, because I didn't even hardly have enough time to just go 2 steps in, and I was already behind a tree throwing up. And as soon as I backed out of there, I was fine. So there's something there, and I don't know what it is. Everybody else was able to go ahead, but when I stepped in there, and it might have been because the weekend before that we were there, I got a definite feeling. The hair on my arms was standing straight up, and I had a definite feeling like they were going, no more, don't come any closer. I had already seen where they were at, and they were letting me get sort of close, but there was almost like an invisible line of demarcation that said, don't cross this line. And boom, I did. I crossed it, even though it was a week later, and got sick. But as soon as I backed back over, I was okay.
Yep. And I've gotten sick back there many times, and I've gotten lost back there. One time I got lost. Ow, dog. One time I got lost, and I had to look at my fence line, and I had to hold it and go, okay, turn around. I scooted all the way to the left, which was like almost all the way to the left of my property. And I turned around, and I was fine. So I had to find my fence line, the green stakes, and I was just like, I didn't even, I just scooted over, and then I turned around, and I was able to walk back there. It doesn't happen every single time. And I've asked them to stop doing it. Stop doing that. Why are you doing that? Well, maybe that's why. I don't know. But that is what Tanya brings to the group, her talents. And I mean, geez, it's just, I'm almost like a protector now. I will not let, like, people come over, and that's fine. But when it comes to the research, I've had, like, the Travel Channel, some of them wanted to come here and take pictures. And I was like, no, I don't think so, because how those shows are. They're TV shows, and I don't want to exploit them. And for those reasons, for the reasons how we research, that I think they come around more. We're not here trying to prove anything or take lab samples. We're just in this for I don't know, Angelique, how would you explain that? You explain it better.
Well, we don't have to prove to anybody that they exist. If anybody's had an encounter, they know that they know. You can't take back what already happened. They've reached the point of, I guess, Steve Isdall and How to Hunt explains it the best. You've become a member of the Club of No Return. We don't have to prove. We aren't in this to try to gather DNA or prove to people that they exist, because there's already been DNA, there's already been bodies, there's already been scientific evidence. We don't need to prove that. The only thing that we want to do is learn more about the dynamics of who they are as a people. And so that the research that we have isn't necessarily anything that is flesh and blood, but rather more of learning the individuals that are in that clan or that family group and communicating with them. So the communication process is a very slow process, but we have had great success, or at least I have. I've had great success with it, and I, um, in my goal for this is not to prove that they exist, but to rather learn and establish the relationship that it takes to understand them
Yeah.
as a people.
Yeah. We've seen what happens to people that try, that stick their necks out there. And, some people have gotten, like scientists who have stuck their necks out there, they've been put on the block, the chop block. And, so for me, when I formed this team, like for example, we came upon this one site, and it was actually found by Angelique, but and she can probably tell you that story better than I can, because it involved an encounter with her, and then she came and took me back there. But and there was evidence that we could have taken, but we didn't take because it was disrespectful, I guess. And so, and we're not going to do that, I guess. But that doesn't mean we won't ever cast something. If we do, it'll be for our own files or for whatever reason we need to use it for. But I had some people like kind of get really frustrated with me, and they said, "You were right there. How come you didn't get the evidence?" I was like, no, there was well, I'll let her tell you, but we did not take anything. And that's kind of like how we research, because it's about respect. But the only problem with that is that there's different things out there. We're talking about the forest people. I'm not talking about the bad ones that are out, I'm not talking about those. But yeah, you can probably tell them, Angela. You tell, that was your encounter, your area that you found.
Well, if you're talking about the one in the backwoods where I took you with the tree and everything, is that where you're talking about? That encounter?
Yeah.
Okay. So I came across the on a backwood area, a female and a baby, and what looked to me like a teenage daughter. And they were hunkered down and hiding behind a fallen tree. And this is where some people say, well, maybe that's paranormal or mind speak or whatever. And I don't know if that's what it is, because I've never gotten anything like an audio in my head with a voice or whatever. So I know some people that have that ability. I don't. I go with my gut. And my gut said to give respect to these people. These are people. And I entered into their living room. And so I stopped and I rolled down the window to my Jeep and I said, I see you. And I just want to apologize to you for traveling through your home and interrupting your day. And I'm just passing through and I'm asking your permission to pass through. And then I waited for the gut feeling to change from surprise and a little bit of fear and unease and wondering what I should do, if I should turn around and go back the other way. But then I kind of got a feeling like it was okay. Go ahead and come through. So I did. And as I was passing, I saw the baby, and he popped his head up behind the tree and looked right at me, and he had just this little round head and big eyes, and then he popped back down again, and so what I've found with these beings is, because I've had many encounters now, visual encounters, and most of them include other people, so it's not just me seeing them. It's either been my family or some friends or whatever, but I have found that when you address them, either out loud or sometimes even in your head, if you address them with respect and honor, and you give them, if you give them that honor and respect, then they in return show respect to you too. And I've had some amazing things happen that my son was able to experience with me at the same time, of the communication process with a habituation site. And it's just amazing to see how they know when you respect them and when you don't. They know it. And I think it is because these people have never left the ancient ability to sense things, to some people might call it an instinct. Well, we have that too. We still have that. We have it. We've just pulled away from it, and we've told each other, and we've told ourselves that it's just our imagination. Just ignore it. It's just your imagination. You're just being dramatic. You've watched too many movies or whatever. You're just being, ridiculous. But these beings have never left it. They've improved on it. They've lived it every day of their lives for survival. And so I feel, of my own accord, my feeling is that, much like the family dog can sense when there's somebody that enters the home that is not a good person, that dog will, their hackles will raise and they'll get uncomfortable. I think it's because these beings have that ability, but probably 1,000 times stronger than the family dog. And I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there are very good people who've been chased out of the woods and have had rocks thrown at them. I've had rocks thrown at me. My daughter-in-law had sticks thrown at her. You can be a very good person, but when you're dealing with a group of people who may not have ever had an experience with someone who wasn't, you know, somebody that they felt was a danger, that they're going to react. They're going to react to you in a certain way. And so that's where our research comes in, is trying to learn how to show that respect and how to give them the communication that they need to understand we're not there to harm them or to cause problems, but to learn from them. And yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah, that was, Cindy kind of passed it to me and I just went with
Yeah, I'm
it.
bad. Sorry. Yeah. Now I do want to say a couple things. All, like, people ask us, have asked us questions. Like, does anybody, like, what is everybody's job in your group? Like, does somebody cast? Does someone do this? No, we don't. You know what? We are so new that we're still learning, like, I don't have a job, and specifically we just kind of get together, and like we just did this past weekend at a local area here, and a lot of my research has changed because of where I live here. I do research other areas, and I have two other areas where the clans know me. Well, one for sure, it's off the Columbia River, because I've gone for 9 years every summer with my women friends, and it's on the Spokane Reservation. So I've had things happen there. But ever since 2020, we haven't gone back. And I don't think that we're going to go back there again, because of the way things are. So I kind of miss those guys. And then the other I'm playing with my dog, sorry. And then in Priest Lake is another area, but I can't say that they know me there, because there's this, it's so weird, because I feel like I was supposed to that place is like my home. It's just very familiar. I don't know how else to describe it. Like Southeast Oklahoma, that's another area that I just totally love, Honobie. And you've heard of the siege of Honobie, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we were always riding our horses there, like at least 2 times a month. And that whole incident, our family in Tallahena knew them, and that whole, I was riding around on my horse in Southeast Oklahoma, like when all that stuff was going on, before that place became famous, and they had that Bigfoot festival there. And sometimes I just can't believe, like, that's a whole different situation there versus here. Like Alaska is different versus here. The Big Thicket is different versus here. I mean, like, so different, like from aggressive to, like whatever we have here. Now, there is good and bad, everywhere you go. So I'm not saying East Texas is all bad. I'm not saying Alaska is all bad. I'm just saying that the places I have been there, most, like 90% of my encounters have been just a huge turnoff, man. Like, so I don't know what that's about. Their body styles are very, very different too. In Texas, I've seen big ones, and I've seen really skinny ones. So I am not really sure, if that's even fair to say, but for the most part, most of my experiences have been like that. And so since everything has changed, I've looked at things differently. And I'm South Native American, and not everybody on our team is, but we get a lot of, or I'm getting a lot of flack on how we're not trying to prove anything. And that's how we get a lot of stuff. That's how we get a lot of stuff, is through our vision of just telling the truth, no matter what, what kind of feedback we're going to get, because we just want to do right by what we report back and the things that happen to us. Like last winter, I was down in Texas, and I went back to Brown Springs, and I went to the big Boykin Springs and Brown Springs, and nothing happened. So I don't know, but we do apply, scientific standards when we need to, but we're not going to sit here and gather evidence and send it in unless there's a specific reason that we would need to do that. I guess I don't know if I'm rambling at this point.
Well,
No.
can I add something, Cindy? So
Yep.
we do document, and
Yeah.
we'll photograph evidence, but it's more for our own personal research, because like some of the things that we've found, we don't know for sure if it came from a Bigfoot or not. So we're in the middle of researching and looking for small details that we've overlooked before in these encounters, to see if it's something that correlates with the others that we've had. So on our team, even when we're out in the woods and, say tracking, we'll look for different things that basically mimic something else that happened somewhere else. I've had not last weekend, but the weekend before, my son and I were able to find 17-inch, I think it was 16 and a half or 17-inch footprints in the area that my daughter-in-law had sticks thrown at her. So rather than just go in and go, ooh, we found some footprints, we measured them, we measured the length and the distance between the tracks. We didn't cast them. We left them alone, but we did measure, we did photograph, we took photos of the measurements, we wrote down, all the information that went with it, along with all the other details that were in the area, like the different garbage that was there and stuff like that. But it was all not just for the scientific evidence, but more for our own gathering, so that at the next site we can look to see if any of those elements are there and document those as well, because I'm seeing a lot of repeat things
Like
in these
patterns.
encounters. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of patterns, and it's kind of exciting because some of them I have never heard anybody talk about before. So I think we're coming on to some things that are going to be very interesting, and yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds.
Yeah, and really quick before I forget, so next month there's going to be an event at Legends Casino in, how do you say it, Toppenish?
Toppenish. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, and so we're going to be speakers there, and other neat people too, the She Squatchers and other people. So it's October the what? 22nd?
I think it's the 22nd. Yeah. Yeah,
So
and
if
there's
anybody
also
is in Washington in that area, and if y'all want to go, come on out. The tickets are affordable too. So
there's also going to be Bob Gimlin, Mel Gahan, and your friend Mantra, and those guys are going to be down there. So yeah. How long do we have? Are we supposed to cut off at an hour?
It's generally an hour. There's not an exact cutoff time. I usually aim for an hour. But I would love to do a part 2 with you guys where we go into a little more detail about some of your encounters, and if you have anything you're willing to share, we can share it too.
Yeah,
sure.
I would absolutely love to do that. Maybe some audio or pictures if you have any that you're willing to share.
You betcha.
Yeah, sure.
I can definitely do it on this platform.
Okay, so can we send you audios and you can play them or what?
Yeah, I can upload them to this program and we can play them while we're doing our show.
Okay, then we can do that next. I guess, has it been an hour already?
Yeah,
just about.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, sure. We can go into that next week. Yeah, or whenever is fine with me.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And I host the Michigan Bigfoot Conference every year, and I'm doing one in Texas. I'd like you guys to come down to speak in Texas. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit.
What month?
I don't have an exact month on that yet. The one in Michigan is in July, but I haven't nailed down a date for the Texas one yet.
Okay, well, just have it in the fall so I don't have to deal with all the heat.
I mean, it's still a ways out, so I'll get more details as it gets closer.
Yes. Did you have an idea of did you have an idea of East Texas or North, South, Central?
It'd be right around Sam Houston National Forest, right around that area.
Oh yeah, baby! Oh yeah, baby! My old stomping ground. I'm gonna take the whole team out there, and I'm gonna let y'all scare the living daylights out of the team. I'm gonna be like,
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be so funny to have y'all here. What I did many, many years ago. But yeah, that sounds like fun. Thanks for having us on today. I can't believe the time passed by so fast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're very welcome.
really quick, we are on Facebook,
Yes.
Sasquatch Sisters Northwest. Go find us, like us. We are on YouTube, and we are just starting. And Angelique, well, you can tell them about the YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel is, I'm the host, and it is basically the reports and the letters from people from the inland Northwest, which is from the northeastern corner of Washington State, across the Idaho Panhandle into the western corner of Montana. And so between us girls, we're all from that area because we've got Deanna over in Montana. We've got Cindy and I and Tanya here on the Panhandle, and then I come from the Northeast Washington corner from Stevens County. So I have a lot of friends and family from that area that share with me their encounters, and so we have. I read them on the air, and we have we've only had about 4 episodes so far because we're just brand new, but bear with us, be patient, it's coming. So, but yeah, join us there. And if you have any encounters, please contact me. I will read your story on the air. But we do focus on the inland Northwest. So
Yeah,
if you send me some, yeah, if you send me something from New York, I won't be able to read it, other than maybe I can talk a little bit about it, but I won't be able to give focus because we are geared for the inland Northwest.
Yeah, and find us on Facebook too.
Yes.
I'm just look under Cindy and Goodbrake, good Brake, and send me a friend request. You can send me a message. We post on our own pages too, and Angelique is on Facebook too. Your last name, I'm just gonna spell it for him. Benham. Benham, right?
Yes, Benham.
I know how to spell. But I love these ladies, and oh, look at this dog toy. Look, he chewed it. So yes, that would be great. And oh my gosh, to be able to go to Texas and do that would be like really awesome, man. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And real
Russell quick,
is going to be there too, so it'll be a big event.
Who? And go ahead.
Russell Accord.
Oh, I know Russell Accord. Hey, Russell, I just saw him at Phenomicon. I was there, so we took a picture. Well, that's cool. Good. That's nice. Great. And what were you going to say, Angelique?
I was just going to say, if you go to friend one of us, please let us know that you have seen us on the show or something, so that we don't think you're a hacker, because I've had hackers try to friend me. So just give me a real quick, hey, I saw you on the show or whatever, and then it'll be fine. I'll friend you.
Or any narcissist trying to find a new girlfriend or wife.
Yes.
No thanks.
And,
bad experiences, huh? Just kidding.
Rhonda, to answer your question, which is one of the comments on here, the Michigan Conference was in Chelsea, Michigan this year. Next year, we're aiming for Kalamazoo, Michigan, or somewhere thereabouts. So it's not too far from Detroit and not far from Grand Rapids.
Hey, is there a way to turn this around? Because I'd love to show y'all if I don't get kicked out, like, what I'm looking at. Is there a way to turn this around?
The camera?
Oh, the camera?
Yeah. Do I hit cam and then it turns around, or what?
It depends on what kind of device you're on.
I'm on my phone.
What kind of phone is it?
Android Samsung 20.
Okay, so there should be a little flip symbol with an arrow. Is there not one?
Me see.
Uh-oh.
I don't. Did that not work?
No, I can't see you now. You could flip the whole phone too if you want.
Okay. if I get kicked out within, I'll just have to talk to y'all next week. Oh my gosh, I'm old. I can barely walk.
Oh, stop.
Hey, it's true. I don't know if I can go this far back, but I want to show you like what my woods look like. I have a we got a structure right here. But I don't know. Hold on. I know y'all are, it's time to shut down.
It's okay.
I'm walking as fast as I can. I got a hitch in my get along somewhere.
It just shows how big the property is.
I'm getting that feeling.
Don't go past that. Don't go past it.
Oh.
I don't want you to throw up on camera. Oh my gosh. Cindy. Don't do it.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, because I should have known better. Because I'm
yeah,
on
don't
here.
do that.
Well, I'll just have to take a picture and show you.
Okay.
Which was stupid.
Oh, Cindy. Yeah,
I'm fine.
You need to put a clothesline or something across there so people can't.
Little bastards. Sorry. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so I'll take pictures and send them to you. I don't know if you can show them. And
I can.
Yeah, the audios too.
Yeah, I can do video, audio, and pictures.
Okay, great.
Oh, I have pictures. I can send pictures.
Awesome. Yeah, I can upload them on the next show, and we can show them and talk about them.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Well, thank y'all for coming on. I really enjoyed the show.
Oh, thank you very much. And
next
time, we'll just give you audios. I'm not going to walk back there.
Okay.
That was dumb.
That's okay. Yep. Oh.
Okay.